Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ANZ Open Division week number 8. I am Winters, and joining me tonight from the cold Hearthstone of Melbourne is Agamemnus from the Unreal Aussies group of rad dudes and dudettes. Aga, how are you tonight, mate?
Yeah, well, apparently I'm cold, according to you, but it's all good.
Is it actually cold down in Victoria right now?
Nah, it's pretty mild at the moment, just sort of regular. Not hot, not cold, but I am starting to sweat a little bit with excitement for these games coming up.
Getting a little bit sweaty tonight for the final week of Open Division. So these matches tonight are going to determine and dictate who is going to be going through to the relegation rounds and potentially looking to take out a spot in the Premier Division. Looking pretty exciting tonight, mate. I love myself the Open Div stuff, Aga. We get to see a lot of up and coming talent in the region. Not exactly the the pinnacle of ANZ HotS esports, if we're going to be honest, but it's certainly exciting, I think.
Yeah, look, and if you're active in the community, a lot of these guys are all friends with each other. There's a lot of internal rivalries, long-term rivalries, and friends fighting friends, boyfriends fighting girlfriends. And I see a lot of names I do recognise, plenty of names I don't recognise. So it's always fantastic to see a lot of your buddies sort of getting involved in the competitive side of things, having a go, giving it their best, and giving each other a little bit of smack talk on the side as well. As is the Australian way.
Mate, if there was anything that would absolutely identify Australians as Australians, it is the smack talk. That's what we do best. Just look at ANZ General Chat, Aga. It's full of it. We've certainly got a lot of open personalities in our open division. And look, we are going to kick into our first map of the night tonight, Aga, with Braxis Holdout. So give me your thoughts or interpretations on what you'd expect to see in a draft coming out of our open div into Braxis, mate. What do you think?
Look, at the sort of level I normally play at, Ragnaros is actually pretty popular on Braxis Holdout, but I think especially with some of the guys I'm seeing in Wolfpack here, not sure if that's their hero of choice. It's much better to play to win the objective because it is, it is a win condition. The Zerg Rush is a win condition, as more so than the boss, I believe, on this map. And I think that's winning the Zerg Rush instead of preparing to defend against a Zerg Rush is probably the more reliable way to go towards victory. So I think, given that it's a 2-lane map, 1 and 4, Stukov is, one of the better 4-man healers. So I dare say we'll see a Stukov on either side, just to hold strong ground down in that bottom lane.
Definitely.
Sonya, any other sort of really strong solo laners? We might see Phoenix. Is Phoenix unbanned for this one?
Oh, he's absolutely unbanned, mate. And he quite often, last week, if that was anything to go by, and in Premier Div, he makes it all the way to the final pick before he's even picked, let alone even thought about being banned. So, yeah, definitely a strong pick that these open div teams can take advantage of and utilise, especially with the wave clear, like that, the orb talent that he can swap between the W. Ridiculous wave clear.
Yeah, I mean, I think that really does help him in a 4-man rotation, which you're not going to see on this map. But I think that he can be useful here. I mean, I haven't played a lot of Phoenix myself personally, but I've seen him around, and he can be devastating, but he can be crushed quite easily as well. His shield is deceptively strong. If you break through the shield, he is suddenly very deceptively weak, and a lot of people are starting to learn that. I think also, especially at the higher level of play, that might be why he makes it through to the last pick as well, because a lot of the top players do know that he can be killed if you approach it the right way. So I wouldn't mind seeing him on this map. I dare say we will see a Sonya, quite possibly a Malthael, maybe a Blaze for the solo laning, and a big thing is Stukov for the 4-man.
Interesting. All right, yeah, well, look, Braxis is probably Stukov's best map, given the ability for him to zone with that lurking arm talent. The silence, as we all know, is just rubbish good, especially into a Garrosh throw or Malfurion roots. There is so much versatility that Stukov can bring to a team fight. Get a couple of slows in with his dirty old pustule, pop that into a buy a kill switch into that silence pool, especially after levels 13 or 16, and you're going to silence and stun an enemy to death. We are just waiting on a few final members to come along from these teams, guys, so we are going to have to regale you with some further tales of ANZ glory. And Aga, being your being one of the first nights that we've stolen you along to co-cast alongside me, mate, what are you looking forward to tonight, or what do you want to see out of the ANZ Open Division?
Look, I really think we need to see a little bit more of my face, but unfortunately the webcam was not doing many favors tonight. So aside from that, I think, you know what I'd really like to see? I'd like to see some more maps come in the next phase. A little bit more versatility. I wouldn't mind seeing a return of the Hanamura. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing the change to Hanamura, to be honest. It was a chaos map, but it does get picked a lot in the customs that I attend regularly. A lot of people, I guess, sort of looking for a little bit of a mix it up in terms of map flavor. I don't know if Garden Terror should or shouldn't come back, but I feel like that map has potential if it's probably just worked a little bit. The Garden Terror is one of the stronger vehicles, I feel, but if the objective was a little bit more battle oriented to achieve, then I think that map could make a bit of a comeback. I don't know. Open Division, I guess. What I'd really sort of love to see is to follow a story. Let's say a team starts out here and they have a few games. They might make it halfway or whatnot, but then they come back in the next phase and they're a serious contender for one of the top two spots. I know Roles Unspecified and Capital, both teams showing a lot of potential this season.
They are indeed.
Yeah, got a few buddies in both of those teams. They talk to each other quite a lot. And I would love to see them. I really do think that they've improved since 9 weeks ago, the start of this phase. And I would love to see them, sort of edge their way up to, maybe the top 2 or 3rd spot in the next phase and possibly enter in the Crucible for phase 3. And then, whether or not they make it into, Premier League, that's a different story. But it would be an interesting story. I would love to see, a team sort of evolve over multiple phases and sort of start at humble beginnings and make their way up and grow together, instead of just sort of accepting, the powerhouse that is Nomi. And don't get me wrong, I love Nomi. I love Fat, love Penta, two of my idols in the game. But I think there's always something a little bit more interesting to a story that starts from humble beginnings. So,
Aga, we are in ANZ nothing if not only trolls, but the kings of the underdog story. And don't get me wrong, everyone loves a bit of the Fat, and maybe a little bit of the Penta as well, but there's nothing more satisfying than watching a team, say, like Capital, or Roles Unspecified, or Onyx, or Ripple, or any of these guys in our little baby basket of Open Div teams, coming up through the ranks, taking that Crucible out, getting themselves out of Open into Premier Div, and then challenging their ways up to the likes of Mindfreak, and actually putting on a show, and, showing the rest of us in the ANZ region how it's done. I find that so satisfying, and that is the kind of thing that I want to see then the Premier teams taking to the BlizzCons and the mid-season brawl and, the Eastern Clash, the Western Clash, wherever they may be able to go, and taking it to NA and EU. My personal dream, mate, will be to see it doesn't matter whether it's an Open Div or a Premier Div team, but an ANZ region team taking out the gold against someone like KSV Black. I would have a wet dream over that. I'd throw some 16-year-olds around at a party. That's what I would do.
Look, honestly, I think that there is. Look, honestly, it really is a bit of a shot for teams like Nomi and Crimson at the LATAM this year. This first half of the year. I think that what you're talking about is a realistic possibility. 2018. Whether or not they will win World Championship, that is a battle and a half even. But these guys are strong. some of the teams in Premier League are sensational. Some of the players are sensational, and a lot of them know each other. They scrim each other on a regular basis. They're all great mates there. I also wouldn't mind seeing some female streamers on world stage BlizzCon championship sort of thing, especially Australians. There's quite a bunch of them in open division. And one day seeing them up there contending for the #1 spot for a phase would be, it would be epic.
I completely agree, Aga, and I am nothing if not a fan of all of the ladies, one way or the other. But look, let's get this first game underway as we kick into week 8 of the Open Div team. Aga, thank you for joining me once again tonight. I'm Winters. This is Agamemnus from the Unreal Aussies, guys. This is Braxis Holdout. We're bringing you the unseen on that red team versus Team Wolfpack, who, if they secure victory in most of their games tonight, will be going along with Pleb to Pro into that upsy downsy crucible little mixeroni to try and get themselves into Premier Div.
Yeah, their main competition there is going to be Morton's. I believe if Morton's wins, was it 3 of tonight's games?
Sure is, mate.
Guaranteed a spot. Yeah, but if Wolfpack pulls out wins across the board, and Morton's drops 2, then Wolfpack is in for it, I think.
Yeah, look, I'm pretty sure Wolfpack are going to bring out some spicy comps here, mate. They're versing the Unseen. Unseen is sitting around the sort of top middle of the pack for the Open Div comp, guys. They have been very strong in their team compositions, but Wolfpack have certainly been bringing the fire to each and every single one of their matches. It's why they're sitting at number 2. And we get the first pickup on Hanzo from the Unseen, straight into a Stukov pick there by Wolfpack, so absolute solid point. We were bringing up the Stukov earlier. Into the Garrosh, and Aga. Garrosh and Stukov make such a wicked duo. It's rubbish.
Yeah, you were talking about it earlier on. A throw into a silence, especially with a slow from the pustule, it's devastating. It gives you plenty of time to take somebody down. I'm not surprised that they've gone for that straight off the bat. Hanzo is also a pretty good pick, I believe, especially if people are sort of dilly-dallying over the objective. Just constantly throwing arrows out there, his extended range, his vision that he can get really, really helps there. It's not too bad for getting some vision on the boss as well, if you suspect a sneaky boss in there. I'm interested in the Medivh ban, actually, as to what exactly they were suspecting from the Wolfpack there. Medivh is, of course, a lot stronger now than he used to be. But personally, I don't think he's all that devastating, especially if Wolfpack is taking a Garrosh, although they might have had the Stukov Garrosh plan all along. Ooh, Malfurion and Leoric. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, so look, I understand the Medivh ban. Wolfpack have played Medivh once or twice over the last couple of weeks, and they've shown the versatility of that hero with the portals. Not to mention the unstoppable / shielding that he can give, and then the AOE explosion damage. Master's Touch as an inherent trait now is far too easy for everybody to complete, and can bring some serious pain. I've quite often been in and viewing some matches whereby there's a Medivh topping the hero damage charts. So, doesn't surprise me at all. Smart banning. As we see the first Shimada brother banned out by Wolfpack. With the Malfurion Leoric pickup, we're going to see, no doubt, an Entomb and a dirty old Twilight Dream. Probably followed by a disgusting old, big old Hanzo Arrow. So we're looking at some team synergy here by the Unseen. Looking for the team fight by the looks of it to me. Aga? What do you reckon we're going to see coming out of Wolfpack coming up?
I think you're bang on the money with the whole sort of wombo combo of the Entomb, the silence, the stun from Hanzo. Even the dragon from Hanzo with an Entomb and a silence could be quite devastating. I am surprised that Wolfpack banned the Genji. I kind of suspected that they were possibly going to consider picking him to counter the Hanzo, possibly. But I guess they've got a plan in mind. They've got their team comps that they've practiced, and Greymane ban. I suspect that Greymane probably could have really helped with this. Chromie. Okay, so that's completely different to what I expected, to be honest.
Well, Chromie into Braxis is just like, gravy onto meat and potatoes, mate. Everyone clustering around those points when they're taking them. It's easy Q stacks. And we get the disgusting, armored, tattooed, heathen woman Maiev coming out. She and Garrosh, mate. We are looking at an absolutely feral displacement competition right now. So the Umbral Bind on Maiev, not to mention the Warden's Cage, into a Groundbreaker, into a dirty throw. Like, this is going to be horrible if someone, i.e. a Malfurion or a Hanzo, gets picked up.
And all of that with a silence on the ground right in the middle of it too. It's this is looking very nasty.
You're probably going to see the actions per minute from Malfurion go up from, 50 or 60 through to 1,000 when he's just right-clicking a million times when he's caught in that silence throw, stun, knockback, pullback, Warden's Cage, ridiculousness. So the Stukov silence into the middle of a Warden's Cage, into a, Dragon's Breath, into boatloads of damage, Aga. This is going to be ridiculous. I'm not looking forward to this for the poor Unseen, mate. I'm going to be honest.
But with the Tyrael and the possibility for a Sanctification, that could fix it up. Honestly, that could save them. Even a Fear, a Horrify from Gul'dan. It looks like they are prepared for this sort of wombo combo displacement, silence, damage, insane festering pit of death that Wolfpack looks to bring.
Look, mate, you make an absolutely magical point there, Aga, with the Tyrael. So if Tyrael's able to get himself inside that Warden's Cage by throwing an Eldruins in there, teleporting in, popping down that Sanctification, if he's got a Hanzo or, lo and behold, a Malfurion, who shouldn't be in the middle of that Warden's Cage, but if he were, and he drops that Sanctification, that is just going to negate that entire three-man team fight priority that looks to be being picked up by Wolfpack. It's really actually very interesting that they picked up the Tyrael there in the Gul'dan. So they can drop the Sanct, drop the Fear, spread everyone out, and then start to pick them off with the Hanzo and the Leoric Entomb into that Twilight Dream. So, look, I don't know who I'm going to go for in this one, Aga, to be honest. I want to say, with the pick priority that Wolfpack have picked up, I'd go with Wolfpack, but I really want to see the Unseen take a win out of this one tonight.
Yeah, cheering for the underdog, is it? A little bit, maybe?
It's pretty much what I'm going to do right now. We're going for the underdog. It's Anzac Day, mate. We're going to tip one out to the legends. We're going for the underdog.
Fair enough. Look, I'm a massive fan of Helium in general. Seen him play quite a few times. Big fan of his healing. I do like a little bit of Tanner and LG. I don't believe I've seen LG play Zagara though, so it's going to be interesting. I feel like I want to cheer for Wolfpack based on the fact that I know a couple of the guys, at least a little bit. But you've swung me a little bit on the underdog thing. I certainly wouldn't be disappointed to see an underdog win.
Well, look, let's get this first game underway for Week 8 of the ANZ Open Division, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the Wolfpack on the blue side, the Unseen on the red team. Unfortunately, Aga and I were having a little bit too much to say about the pre-game, so we're not going to go through who's playing who. Suffice it to say that we've got two of the ANZ Open Div, top-rated teams in this game tonight, and we're going to see what they can bring to the fray as we have a very standard fracas occurring in the bot lane, Aga.
Yeah, but nobody's going too deep. Everyone's trying to put out their damage. Chromie, of course, does have the range and wants to get the stacks on her Sandblast quest. She's taken the vision, which I think is very handy. She's taken a whole bunch of damage from Gul'dan's corruption just there. She does have the well ready and the Stukov heals. As I said earlier, the Stukov 4-man healing is phenomenal.
Yeah, look, Stukov is absolutely the S-class healer at the moment, along with Malfurion. So we're seeing the best of both worlds right here with, cheeky Maiev, Stukov, the Garrosh, who is, one of the premier tanks. We've got Gul'dan, who is great at wave clear on this map. Chromie, who's great at putting out the damage. Hanzo, still S-class assassin. Atramentus getting poked to 120 health there, ladies and gents. Aga, copping a buttload of damage right there, mate. This is looking a little bit dirty for Hanzo. Is he going to go down? I don't think they got the damage. The root comes out from the mouth there. Jester on the Maiev trying to put the damage into Invincible on the Hanzo, but not going to happen. And that was a good little bit of damage coming out there from both sides, mate.
Yeah, it really was. I loved the Chromie shooting over the wall in anticipation of the natural agility from Hanzo. Surely he's going to jump over the wall to get away, so that's where she shot her Dragon's Breath, but he didn't. He just kept walking. Did he know? Was he anticipating that?
Well, that's
quality play if he is.
That's the thing that we're talking about, mate. We're looking at open div teams here, and we're seeing we're seeing Premier Team thinking coming out of this. So these guys have all been doing their research. No one wants to be left in the dirt. No one wants to be sort of left behind when it comes to understanding what it takes to get into the Premier Div. And these guys here that we're watching tonight, right now, Aga, are certainly at the forefront of making their way up into that Premier League division very, very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Wolfpack do have a little bit of a history. I do believe they were once called We Met at Bunnings, and then Bad Because Mad, Mad Because Bad, something like that. They've been around for a while. They've been in a few tournaments. They're well known in the community. Ooh, Hanzo copying a Dragon's Breath to the face there, and the Sandblast after it. He's going to have to back off out of that. He's a little bit vulnerable here.
He's eating a lot of damage there, Aga. And interesting to see that the 100 Zerg wave goes over to Wolfpack straight away with the inability to contest just from that Chromie poke. From what we could tell down in that bottom lane, there was no contestation there, and it was purely a 4v4, and Wolfpack won that out. As we see Tyrael getting blown up here, silenced, Atramentus trying to leg it out. The Archangel himself does get away with 400 health. That was actually quite disturbing to watch that in these early stages of the game at level 5. That was a gross amount of damage right there.
Yeah, it was looking very, very dangerous. He was obviously just trying to keep that fort standing. If you can distract him for long enough, maybe scare somebody away, that fort might still be alive now. It did only just go down with the last Guardian shot. So, I mean, he did his best, but unfortunately the damage and the focus fire from Blue Team was enough to force him back, of course, and they ended up taking the fort anyway. I thought he might get caught out there for a second, but backed off at the right time.
Yeah, we had a cheeky little bit more of an engage coming up there, but to no avail with our Atramentus being able to just Eldruins away. Inushu on that Garrosh is certainly putting a lot of pressure onto the front line of this team, getting those ground breakers coming through and then, tossing people around just like a little bit of a ragdoll. Interesting to see that the Maiev there, though, Aga, was facing down the Leoric during that little altercation, and they moved the Zagara up into the top lane. So not sure what that was about, but we see the 1v1 lanes going back to where they should be. We've got the heavy camp picked up there by Maiev and Chromie, of all people. And these are some of the diverse things that you'll see in the ANZ Open Division, ladies and gentlemen. Little bits of randomized fun and content for you.
Look, I think Zagara just stayed up top because she was already there when the Zerg wave came out. Don't waste time traveling when you can just start hitting buildings. But you're right, she does need to go back down there now. She does win a lane versus Leoric. So Red Team, however, in the unfortunate position now of not having a well or a fort to protect them. So Blue Team's just going to circle this XP. It looks like Tyrael's just in range of collecting XP there, but if Blue Team can scare them, if Wolfpack can scare them away a little bit up top, they'll be able to deny some XP by keeping them distant from the minion clash.
Yeah, it's interesting the thought process that we're seeing here tonight, ladies and gents, and Aga, of course, in terms of the difference that we see in the levels of play with some of these people. So you'd imagine that on this map, you'd send your solo lane directly to the counter lane that the Zerg wave is pushing. So we can see here that the next Zerg wave is going to be down the bottom lane. So you'd imagine that you'd send your solo laners to the opposite lane, right?
But that's some relief. I dare say he'll run up. But as long as Wolfpack's battling it out up here, which they, score the kill on Ghoul down. Nice time. Temporal loop, beg your pardon, from Chromie.
Yeah, we got first blood coming out.
Softer down bottom, though.
Yep. First blood coming out there to Wolfpack, but the unseen answer in very short order taking out that Zagara, irrespective of the amount of disgusting creep that she's putting out on the field. We have absolutely a dominating game coming out in terms of lane pressure and XP, where Wolfpack are an entire level in front just by taking out that fort in the top lane there, Aga.
Yeah, the fort and both of the towers down bot as well, which doesn't just give them the level advantage, and it will give them the advantage on the ultimate. But it means that, the Unseen have got nowhere to retreat to. They can't just run away from this. They do have a Garrosh. They've got a Maiev who's not down bot at the moment, unfortunately. But they are well and truly capable of chasing down the Unseen if they go for the run.
Oh, we see a Gul'dan getting picked up there. Unfortunately, sorry boys and girls, I was not paying attention to that one. I was looking at the fracas in the bottom lane. Gul'dan gets picked up, and for the second time, we see him die. And it's now 3 kills to 1 in favour of Wolfpack. And it looks like they are going to get that Malfurion 4 to 1. Malf a little bit out of position there, and unfortunately Helium, with that lurking Armagger, is just putting that amount of pressure and silence onto the enemy team. The Unseen can't answer that.
Look, it really is quite disruptive. But Tanner did go in there 2v1. They had the Tyrael and the Malfurion there. Tanner braved the odds and went straight for the Malfurion. Managed to get him nice and low and hung around for the final attack to kill him. Might have been in danger after that, but he had the back off from Stukov, of course. So,
and that's exactly what would have happened if he had have lived. Now we see the entirety of Wolfpack bringing their force to bear down into this bot lane. Gul'dan getting a lot of value with those corruption stacks. We've almost got level 10 coming online for the side of the Unseen. However, they don't have it yet, so they cannot contest this Zerg wave. We've got Wolfpack putting an inordinate amount of pressure there. Jester getting bombed again by that corruption from Gul'dan. Atramentus trying to just sort of bully people out in that front lane, trying to take out these dirty great big bruises in the front there. Not going to happen. Wolfpack are getting a lot of value here, Aga.
Yeah, they certainly are. The Unseen has hit level 10, though. They've got their ultimates available. It is a 2-level deficit, but a mega arrow there from Hanzo working its magic and the sanctification from Tyrael. And then that is a hell of a catch-up here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Stukov drops that lurking armor to Leo, pushing him all the way back into base. That's going to be the disengage that they needed there, Aga. That was a great sanctification coming out from Tyrael. Just enough to save himself and a couple of his teammates there from certain doom. And that's what we wanted to see coming out of the Tyrael. So I'm glad that he's picked up Sanct. No one needs to see Judgment. Even in the open div, ladies and gents, that's not a talent that you pick. Please don't do that in your Hero League games. Judgment's not a thing. Been burnt once or twice, mate, especially by people picking Judgment. But looking at the heroics that are picked up on the side of the Unseen, we've got Tranquility coming out. So no Twilight Dream into the Entomb, but we've got the Hanzo Arrow, we've got the Fear, we've got the Sanct, and we've got the Entomb. I'm liking those talents, mate. I'm looking at the Unseen and thinking that they can start bringing this back. They need to start getting some tower control. Not tower control, sorry. Some point control. And start getting their Zerg waves going on, Aga.
Look, they are definitely not out of it. They're only 1 level behind now, of course, after getting that kill and leaving the team's 4v5. They got their XP up and 1 level behind now. They're going to be a little bit behind on the level 13 talent, which Wolfpack is about to get. But I'm sure they're aware of this. Of course, their bot lane Merc camp is slightly stronger than the Fire Bats for Wolfpack, so that's going to push on its own. Zagara about to deal with that now. Okay. So hang on. 5v4 up top here. This is in favour of the Unseen. They've got an opportunity here. They need to seize it.
Oh, the Entomb onto the Garrosh there, Aga. He goes down irrespective of the Stukov's silence. We've got Jester getting hit there on the Maiev by the Hanzo Arrow. The disengage from Stukov pushes Tyrael all the way out of this fight. Hanzo trying to put Temporal Loop coming onto him from the Chromie. The Warden's Cage goes out. There is no sanctification to keep him safe. Hanzo drops to the Chromie's Bronze Talons. Leoric also goes down eating a friggin' mouthful of sand there from the Chromie. That was rubbish. Unlucky for the Unseen. Wolfpack coming out on top of that team fight, Aga.
Yeah, they had the advantage, but they were chasing the Maiev, who does have the armor and that brief moment of invulnerability. She does throw her Phantom Knives backwards, hitting multiple targets, putting out damage while she runs. They needed to focus Tanner, because as soon as Tanner realized he had an opportunity to smash that Hanzo, he went for it and he got him. And then all he had to do after that was just keep throwing out Sandblasts and the Bronze Talon auto attacks, dealing plenty of damage. Absolute gun in that fight, Tanner. Well done.
Look, I thoroughly enjoyed the engage onto the Garrosh there with the Entomb, and I just feel like the Unseen may have burnt a heroic or two a little bit too early in securing that kill. left themselves vulnerable, especially with the Tyrael being disengaged all the way back to his base.
It did give them, I mean, it was 5v4 in favour of the Unseen when they did engage, so it left them 5v3, which was a hell of an advantage. But you're right, the Stukov push really shoving that Tyrael out of the way for the disengage, that disrupted their momentum.
Oh,
and a massive kill.
The Chromie combo onto Hanzo. That temporal loop is just absolutely rubbish on a squishy. Again, I'm pretty sure our mate Binchuk can talk to the amount of times he's never been caught by that, but I've certainly been caught by a temporal loop, and I've certainly been blown up by a Chromie, and I don't have time for that. Aga, that was disgusting, and it looks like Wolfpack are trying to finish here. We've got the Warden's Cage coming out there. We've also got the disengage again by Stukov, pushing Leoric all the way out. They're just unable to get a kill here with this really, really nasty engage comp coming out of the Wolfpack. Atramentus going almost down, 160 health remaining. Azurum on that Leoric, nearly dead as well. Malfurion is just pumping out the heals here for his team, Aga.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's not letting any cooldowns go to waste. They are wearing down Wolfpack here, but no,
there goes Leo.
Finally drops Hanzo, jumping over the core instead of walking up the steps. I don't think the Guardians are going to break through the shield on the core. It's going to go down to one. Yeah, nice 1v1 there from Tanner on.
Wow. So Tyrael's trait gets 0 value. Maya finally goes down, even though she's sitting there eating all those shots from the core. Hanzo picking off the Stukov as well. Feels like Wolfpack may have overstayed here a little bit. Azurum on the Leoric gets that Entomb. He's got the Wraithwalk coming up. He wants to try and finish off Inushu here. Don't think it's going to happen. Is he going to get him? No, the armor is going to be too much. There he goes down to the broccoli.
Oh, so close.
Magical broccoli. Wow.
Oh, wow. That was, yeah. You're right. Wolfpack did overstay their welcome a little bit there. The Zerg wave was dying. It was only a matter of time before they started taking the damage from the core. I dare say they took a little bit of AoE damage there as well while it was firing on the Zerg wave. They were getting quite low, and Stukov was starting to struggle to keep up with the healing. Of course, the Unseen, they've got their steps right there. If they need to, they can get all the mana and health they need from those. And over time, despite the fact that Wolfpack had the level 16 talent, a very, very strong game-changing talent, they really did just stay alive.
Oh, hang on, Aga. We've got the invade coming out here from the Tyrael. He just waltzes in and takes that fireback camp. We got the arrow coming across the map, and it whiffs completely. Could have picked up that Mayev, who's just dropped the Warden's Cage, gets a 3-man Umbral Bind into that stupid silence pool coming out of Stukov. All the damage coming out of the Zaggy, picks up the Malfurion on the back end there. Atramentus on the Tyrael is in a lot of trouble. Umbral Bind coming onto Leo, pops into that Wraithwalk. The Sanctification goes down and gets absolutely bugger all value. We see Hanzo getting picked up. Leo goes down. This is not looking good for the Unseen at all, as we've got a 1-for-0 trade right now, and they are on the back foot, running away with their tails between their legs.
Look, it was a good Merc camp steal, but Wolfpack, they were aware that they had their 2 teammates incoming from behind, so they just backed off. They gave that camp away freely, waiting for the flank, and sure enough, that Zag came in and just nailed that Malfurion.
Yeah, the difference between these two teams is a little bit palpable at the moment, Aga, in terms of their knowledge around their team fights. Wolfpack have put together this composition entirely based around their ability to fight as a 5-man unit. They're not having Zagara pushing and split pushing and taking all the the extra split push talents. They're taking some team fight talents, and they're really putting that to effective use. As we've got another engage coming on here, Tanner taking a little bit of damage there. The Entomb coming out onto the Garrosh once more. Garrosh eating a boatload of damage as he's meant to do. The Fear comes out from the cooldown. Garrosh goes down. They're looking to get the engage onto the Mayev, but Mayev just disappears and blinks away. Tyrael trying to put that focus down. Garrosh dead. Finally.
He took quite a beating there. I suspect what Tanner's doing here is he's just trying to give his teammates Helium a opportunity to escape. Well played. Look, the core is in danger. It's taking damage. Zagara's going to try and put out a little bit more. If they can...
we got a 5-man back right there.
Make it through the shield.
And, yeah, the Zerg wave coming in.
Yep, it's coming in. Wolfpack's going to be a little bit late to the party. It's going to give Unseen plenty of time to kill as many of those Banelings and Guardians as they can. But, oh no, I'm not sure that the Zergwave is strong enough to take it out here.
Warden's Cage comes out. Aga, we've got a 3-man sanctification there. Jester on the Maiev is copping a lot of damage. Oh, the Hanzo arrow just completely whiffed it. That would have been amazing if it had connected. Maiev is just going to run again like a dirty little warden like she is. Stukov's going to lumber away with all the tentacle porn that you can imagine. And he's just going to walk on out of there. Copping a lot of damage from that corruption from the Stukov. But not going to be enough to finish him off. We see the Holy Ground coming out from Tyrael. Not going to trap anybody. Wolfpack going to disengage away from here for free, and we see the core eating 15% damage, and shields are only going to start to regenerate. But wait, there's damage coming from these catapults, bringing it down to 75 now. Mate, the Unseen really need to be on point with defending, as they've got 0 keeps left, Aga.
They cannot lose another Zerg wave. I don't think a boss is a total win condition on this map. But a Zerg wave definitely is at this stage of the game. It's 18 minutes in now. It looks like both teams are sort of suspecting a boss play, though. So
there's definite boss posturing happening here, Aga. They're going to take all their side camps first. Both teams are going to posture. If ever there was a time for the Unseen to turn this battle into their favour, it is now. If Wolfpack overcommit or commit incorrectly into this boss play, that is absolutely for true. We've seen it time and time again. It's the boss throws, it's the throw pit, it's all of those things. Holy Ground and Sanctification coming out from Tyrael is enough for them to win this game if the Unseen played this right.
Oh, I thought Atramentus might have been caught by an Umbral there, but Maiev just playing the safe route to get out of there. Ooh,
Hang on.
Eldruin's Might is down.
Oh, just gets the Eldruins out there.
Oh, nice.
But they're still eating core damage.
Yeah, and Wolfpack is happy to play the delay game here. They finally get the pick on Tyrael. This is going to hurt them very, very much so. Wolfpack's happy to let this game play out and keep the Unseen's focus on defending the core from all the incoming catapults, because eventually these points come back up and the Zerg wave is a win condition.
Oh, Temporal Loop onto the Hanzo. Eats the Dragon's Breath and goes down. Leoric also gets hit by the Garrosh knock-up. Malfurion ice blocks at the last minute after a throw. Not going to help him survive. This is game going over to Wolfpack, ladies and gentlemen.
That is it. And well played. Look, the Unseen, they were not out of it until the end. It was an uphill battle, but they were not out of it until the very end. Well played on both sides, to be honest.
Indeed, Aga. Well, look, that was a great game coming out from both teams. I think both teams had a very promising outlook from the start of that. They both had a very solid draft. Again, Anzac Legends wanted to see the Unseen coming out with a W there. They didn't get that, unfortunately, Aga. Wolfpack appeared to have the macro game entirely wrapped up, and then the teamfight game also on top of that. So, GG Wolfpack.
Yeah, it was a very nice game. Massive fan of Tanner in that one. The Chromie, the focus of his fire was excellent. A couple of times I saw the Tyrael of the Leoric looking a little bit low, but the Malfurion would poke his face into range and he would instantly switch targets. Make sure that Malfurion is either staying way back out of range of his W, which of course supports his healing on his own teammates, or has to risk a sandblast to the face. And he did that. He played that psychological game, and every time Malfurion fusion entered into his sight, he switched his focus, and it's the right thing to do in my opinion. The Stukov pick from the start, absolutely love Stukov on 2-lane maps, especially if you're going to play 1 and 4. I do think that he is the best healer in a 4-man comp at the moment.
Couldn't agree with you more there, Aga. And what a kickstart to our Week 8 of the ANZ Open Division, Aga. We're going to cut to a short break just while we wait for some final matches to kick off, finish up for the rest of the teams that are playing tonight. And we'll be back with game number 2 very shortly. Stick around. My mate Aga here is helping me out tonight. I'm your mate Winters. He's Agamemnus from Unreal Aussies. We'll be right back, ladies and gents. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Uno momento. There we go. Welcome back. We're up ready for game 2 in the ANZ Open Division of Week 8. And we are bringing to you a special little match of the old funkiest of moons versus roles unspecified. Aga, I'm pretty sure we've both got mates on either team in this round. So it's going to be a tough one.
Look, I'm very, very torn. Very, very torn. Big fan of RU Lawn. Love Bob Goat on the Blaze. I have been thoroughly burned by his Blaze many times. Of course, you've got Lyrizen, lovely guy. Suze, known for his grey main plays. On the Funky Moon side of things, of course, we've got Electro, very, very recognised amongst the ANZ community. Bot Silic, of course, a regular in some of the customs I've been in, and Stump God, one of my favourite players in ANZ. And I'm definitely looking forward to watching these guys face it off. I am so torn as to who to root for in this one. It's going to be tricky.
Are you Natalie and Brulia right now, or hands like houses in terms of being torn? Nothing's right, you're torn. Alright, boys and girls, we're going to stop memeing you right now. We're going to kick underway into game number 2, into Cursed Hollow. I'm looking forward to this map. I love the boys on Roles Unspecified, but I also have a very soft spot in my heart for Funky Moon, Stumpy, Silic, Sucra, Washi, Electro, the Moops. We love it. Boys and girls, we're going to start this one up. Let's get into the pick ban phase. What do we got?
Cursed Hollow.
This is, I guess, an oldie but a goodie in terms of maps. Cursed Hollow. A lot of people love it. I know that, of course, Onyx loves it the most. But the tactics on this one do vary a little bit. We've been seeing a few Abatha plays recently in the HGC, haven't we? Do you think Abba's viable on this map?
Oh, mate, Abatha's viable on any map. Even Braxis, in my opinion.
Even
But
Braxis.
that's a Plat 1 opinion, mate. Let's not go there. No. Definitely on Cursed Hollow, and we see that coming out in the EU region quite a lot, to be honest. And Cursed Hollow, Aga, as you mentioned, probably one of the... Well, it is the oldest map. It was the first map for Heroes of the Storm. And also one of the biggest. So we tend to see a lot more specialist activity on this map, and a lot more global activity on this map as well, especially with those boss plays. So we're looking for a Medivh, we're looking for a Falstad with a Ghast, we're looking for a Dahaka, looking for a Tyrael with that Holy Ground. But we see the Genjo getting banned out first, ladies and gents. No one wants to deal with that Dragon Blade, nor the constant cries of, I need healing. Nani? Don't have time for that.
No, and look, there's so many nooks and crannies for him to sort of leap over in and out of, get himself to safety, but then nullify the safety of those who would make use of terrain. No one wants to put up with it. You're absolutely right. I don't like putting up with it. Whenever I am the captain in Hero League, I am very, very inclined to go straight for the Genji ban. I do not blame them at all.
Nah, agreed. And just a quick note for all of our fans and viewers at home, RU do have a sub in this evening, and that is RU Snow, or as you can see him in Twitch chat, Snowden, having a little bit of a sook that I didn't introduce him. Apologies for that, Snowy.
Oh, that's right.
He's subbing tonight.
Didn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He was RU, and then he retired. And
So, welcome back, Snowy. Apologies for that, buddy. Look, we're getting Phoenix banned out, number 2. We don't have time for Phoenix. No one wants to deal with his pressure, or his teleporting, or his ridiculous damage, or his shield dagger. He's got the whole package. He's almost like John Cena, number 2.
Look, I dare say one of the teams is looking to pick Hanzo, because I feel like the terrain and his range in this one, especially considering the objective tributes, he does go well on Cursed Hollow. Honestly, Hanzo goes well all round, to be fair. He's a little bit OP, in my opinion. But I suspect that him not getting banned indicates someone's probably looking to pick him.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. Interesting. Oh, wow. Straight into the mouth. That's very odd. Well, not odd, but on Curse, do you want Malfurion? Do you want Stukov? Do you want the mobility? Do you want an Uther? Do you want a Divine Shield? Interesting coming out from the boys on Funky Moon there. And girls.
I think that the lack of a real sort of 4-man laning phase sort of nullifies a lot of Stukov's advantage. So I think Malfurion probably the second strongest overall tank in the game at the moment, in my opinion. But I do like, you said Uther. Big fan of Uther on this one. He can lane with who needs it, but he's got that sort of that ability to really contribute to a team fight in the thick of things. So the Malfurion pick is interesting. Don't doubt the Funky Moon people though. They are a wise bunch of young esports athletes.
Indeed. And wow, I'm not looking forward to this combo again, mate. We saw this last game coming out of Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Do roles unspecified have what it takes to pull off the Warden's Cage into that dirty old silence pool of tentacle nastiness? Or do they not?
Look, it's going to come down to those tribute battles. That's when you're really going to see the chance for a good wombo combo. I think the laning phase, you're not going to see the effectiveness of what we saw in the last game. But those tributes, sometimes, people can fight over them for quite a while. And there's some nice narrow sort of passageways around those some of those tribute spawn points. So yeah, you're right. Especially if they get someone else with a little bit more disruption, say the Garrosh, combining that again with the Maiev and the Stukov. Anyone with a little bit of sort of displacement for the enemy team is really going to round this out, I think. And there's the other thing.
There he is. So if you don't ban him on this map, you're going to see him picked up. It doesn't matter if it's NA, EU, China, Korea, ANZ, or the little old town of Wollongong, you're going to get Nabatha picked up on Cursed Hollow. His value cannot be overstated. And what a setup so far from Funky Moon. We've got Malfurion and Mirrodin. So solid healer, absolutely solid tank with a bunch of mobility, and leaving themselves 2 assassins to pick into here, Aga. They got the world at their feet, essentially, which allows them to wait for RU to take their next 2 picks. So if they go into a really heavy front line, they're going to pick up a Tychus, or they're going to pick up a Malthael, unless RU ban out one of those 2 right now. But there's no real versatility for RU to look at banning out outside of a specific assassin if they know what Funky Moon plays. So I think Funky Moon are in a little bit of a better position here in this draft already.
Look, I think they are. If I was on RU at the moment, I might think about a Li Ming ban. I do see Stump God play Li Ming every now and then. To be fair, I don't play competitively with her, but Tracer ban. Okay, that's a good one as well.
Tracer and an Abatha hat are dirty. No one has time to deal with that. Yeah, especially not a Stukov. Tracer would just run circles around him and punch him in the face and pulse bomb him right in the butt. Don't have time for that, so they ban him out. And looks like Funky Moon may have almost been going for that Tracer. What do you reckon, Aga?
Yeah, look, it's entirely possible, especially with the Abatha. I think they could go for even perhaps a very damage-oriented brawler at this stage. A very sort of heavy damage bruiser. Dahaka ban, interesting. I guess, yeah, so RU hasn't picked up a tank yet. That's a good choice. I'm suspecting possibly a Li Ming for Funky Moon next. We'll have to see.
So what makes you pick a Li Ming over, say, a Tychus or a Malthael as a solo laner?
Well, it's going to depend on this. If RU pulls out 2 tanks right now, there is no reason not to pick a Tychus or a Malthael. But if their team remains a little bit squishy, I feel like I'm not sure what it is, but it's almost a familiarity thing. For some reason, and I can't quite put my finger on it, I feel like the matches I have watched from Funky Moon, there does tend to be some Li Ming. I could be completely wrong though.
You know what we're not seeing right now, buddy? That's a Hanzo.
Why is it he picked Garrosh? Yeah, no, Hanzo, good point. At the start, I noted that nobody banned him.
I know Lyrizon. Oh, boom, there it is. Lyrizon plays Hanzo like an absolute weapon and into that Garrosh. So that is a friggin' scary team so far, and it's pretty much directly what Wolfpack were playing.
Yep. This is This is a heavy hitting team. Who's the only character they're missing at this stage? Zagara, which is totally viable on this map.
It is absolutely viable. You get some Nidus network and you can cause all kinds of grief. But as we saw last game, Zaggy was more sticking with the team rather than being a split pushing sack of bugs and gross goo stuff. So interesting Arthas and Greymane pick up here. So double front line coming out, allowing the potentiality of a Hanzo or a Malthael to go over to the side of Roles Unspecified. So Arthur's natural melee counter, unfortunately for them, they've only really got Maiev / Garrosh who's going to go into that melee build. But they're also sort of forcing Roles Unspecified to pick into another ranged carry right now. So smart drafting from the side of Funky Moon. I'm pretty scared of both drafts at the moment, to be honest.
Look, I think a lot of Funky Moon is going to come down to the Abathur hatting. I think hatting Greymane at the right time, the symbiote, or perhaps even a Muradin or Arthas when they're getting right in the thick of it, and then allowing Greymane to sort of come in and clean up. That hat play is going to be very, very key to how they approach a team fight.
It is.
But this disruption from RU, I mean, that's heavy. Leoric, okay.
Yeah, they needed a solo laner, and they needed the sustain, so this is very much a blend of last game's team coming over for the side of RU, whereas the only repeat we've got from last game on the side of Funky Moon is Malfurion. I'm very interested to see what Electro can do on this Abathur. Very interested to see what build he goes.
I thought for sure Snow was trolling with at least one of those names in chat, but he fair dinkum revealed that.
He legit said to everyone what the draft was going to be. Garrosh, Hanzo, Leoric. So that's, he's trying to give people a little bit of a heads up. Maybe he's trying to troll the rest of his team. Who knows? And Snowy's not even subbed in. He picked on me for not calling it out, Aga, and he's not even subbed in. Rubbish. Snow, you're banned. No more addressing you in Twitch chat, mate. We're going to say a big shout out to Ardra. Thanks for dropping by. And to EJ. Thanks for hanging around, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get underway for game number 2 of the evening for your ANZ Open Division. I'm Winters. This is Agamemnus from Unreal Aussies. We're going to introduce our Roles Unspecified team. And we're going to have Rykors on the Hanzo, which is a little bit different from Liam. Liam, on Horizon, is actually going to be playing the Maiev. We got Bob Goat on the old Garrosh. Suze playing the Leo. And cheeky little bit of Lorny on the Stukov. Who's on our blue side here? Aga?
Okay, for Funky Moon, we've got Stumpgon on Greymane. We've got Sucra on Malfurion. Botsilic on Muradin. Electro on Abathur, and Washir on Arthas.
Excellent, ladies and gents. As we get into the mid-fracas, we see Botsilic riding around on an invisible horse. Was that the one where you don't see it and you turn 360 around and walk the other way? I can't remember. Been a while since I played WoW. It's the horse that drops from the Lich King anyway. As we see a little bit of a cheeky play coming out here, mate. 4-man up top. Bob Goat.
Yeah, they did get the top tower, so it's a good start. Bob Goat might get caught out, though. Botsilic is going as hard as he can. The heals from Stukov too good, though.
Manages to walk away there. Unfortunately for them, they do lose that top tower. There's no Sylvanas to be seen, so a very cheeky, smart little play there coming out from the side of Roles Unspecified to get themselves a little bit of a level advantage.
But Lorne is in trouble here.
Lorne
nearly gets the root, but manages to walk out just as it's expanding.
I was going to say, if they lost that Lorne just there, the tower advantage would have been gone. So any early game kills prior to level 3 really do not net you that much experience, ladies and gentlemen, and it is not really worth doing the whole trade for trade for trade for trade. You get a little bit of tower value, you're going to see yourself having a little bit more of a happier time. Hang on a second, we got Rykors being engaged on up top. Silic gets that hammer, smashes him in the face, and unlucky Hanzo, no more Shimada for you. He goes down.
Yeah, excellent gank there from Botsilic. Fantastic play. To be expected, though. Big fan of Botsilic. Engages Garrosh in the middle. Of course, neither of them is going to be able to kill each other, so they're just going to beat their chests a little bit and disengage.
Both trying to be alpha males in a room full of alpha males. It's not going to work. Bob Goat, Silic, just break it up, all right, boys. Not seeing too much happening around the map at the moment. Good to see Greymane taking out that first heavy camp. We get the Groundbreaker onto Silic. Bob Goat and Lorne trying to get in. Rising gets that Umbral Bind. Silic, is he going to go down? Mirrodin gets popped early on. 1 for 1. No more first blood just being owned. Yeah, no, great work.
He did save his leap as the escape, but it wasn't going to be enough. Once the Maiev came in there with the Umbral, it was all over it. Abatha definitely going to struggle down here. Of course, Abatha has a bit of a rough time killing Merc camps incoming.
Oh, he's been spotted. He's been spotted. He's going to sludgily slime his way backwards. You can see the little gross remnants of him scraping away, this little worm that he is, on the ground. He doesn't have time for that. He wants to run away. The Umbral Bind taking almost a third of his health away. Sorry, not the Umbral Bind, the blink there from Maiev. Now, first tribute spinning... Tribute spinning... Spawning! My goodness gracious me, I think I need another beer. Spawning down the bottom lane. Umbral Bind coming onto the Mirrodin there, Aga. He's going to cop a little bit of damage. I think he can Dwarf Tops away, though. That Stukov pool silence nastiness coming out there was absolutely zoning the crap out of most of Funky Moon. Hanzo getting some vision. Who's going to take this first tribute?
Look, I think the longer they fight it for, the more it is in Rolls Unspecified's advantage. Of course, the Abatha is up top lane trying to get a bit of XP. Funky Moon might get level 7, but Greymane goes down. The correctly focused damage there from Rolls Unspecified instead of laying into the Mirrodin like they did at the start, switching to one of the squishier players. Bot Silic will be lucky if he gets away here. He might have a stun left in him. It's not going to matter.
Nah, he walks away. He gets that second wind kicking in, so he'll be back to full health in about all of, I don't know, 2 seconds. But Abatha, still in that top lane, still gaining an absolute truckload of experience for Funky Moon.
Yeah, just looking to get level 7. Washi, of course, getting picked off down bottom there, unfortunately. Probably assumed that most of RU had left the lane and then got caught out. I wasn't watching, to be honest, so that's just a guess from me.
Yeah, he got rotated on by the three of them there. They were sort of hanging around, giving Leo a little bit of support, thinking maybe that they could go for that keep engage, but they couldn't. But they found themselves a Washi, and the Prince of Nasty, Evil, Frosty, Icy, Black Rhyme goes down. Bye-bye, Arthas.
This is going to be an interesting engage. There's some nice mine positioning there along the sort of the retreat and engage line. Rykors copping a few, but this tribute looks like it might go... No, that is definitely going to be contested.
Yeah, it's going to be a contestation here. We've got
the teammates to come in. Oh,
yeah.
Lord's going to get it. He's got it.
Oh, wow, that was a sneaky pickup.
They had even talents. I thought they were going to go for the engage. They might just be looking to try and get a level lead instead of a level deficit.
Going for an early boss here, though, Aga. As Silic gets tossed into the boss pit, Dwarf tosses himself out there, gets Umbral Binded, going to walk back into the team, gets pulled eventually anyway. Silic goes down, Mirrodin cannot sustain. Washi now in a boatload of danger, gets tossed over Garrosh's shoulder, straight into the walking nasty tentacles of Lorne. Rykor's going to put that damage out now on Hanzo, silenced into the grave. Arthas once again gets pinged, and their RU team are looking dangerous right now, Aga.
Yeah, they've definitely got an advantage here with that boss heading up the lane. Leoric's just going to clear out these minions, I guess, maybe to give the boss a free ride through that fort while they go down to contest the tribute. Or they could just surrender this one. No, they want that curse. And if they do engage... If they clear both the top and middle lanes, they might be close to level 10.
Well, they absolutely will be, Aga, but look down here in bot lane. We've got Stumpy on the Greymane sitting on about 300 health as RU have sniffed out the plan. In comes that revealing arrow from Hanzo. He's going to start putting the hurt into Funky Moon. This looks like it could almost be a double boss coming online for... Rolls Unspecified. The Umbral Bind gets double. Liam diving in all over Sucra on that Malfurion. Malfurion walks away with 50 HP. Gets popped eventually by the Hanzo. And this is going to be boss number 2 coming in for Roles Unspecified.
Wow. That is a massive advantage. They're going to have both of those bosses flying while the tribute is up. No time wasted here.
Oh, double boss and cursed. You couldn't have it any other way. This is like your Hungry Jacks on a Sunday Arvo when you're hungover as all hell. This is just golden for Roles Unspecified, mate.
Yep, and it's going to give them such a lead. Even if they don't get a keep down, they're going to be so far ahead on levels. And also with sort of map control, with none of the front forts up, Funky Moon's going to struggle to really sort of venture out far enough for some of the tributes, depending on where they spawn.
Well, they've absolutely opened up this map, Aga, and you're right. But what Roles Unspecified need to be doing right now is putting all of their resources behind this boss. Funky Moon still have not breached that level 10 yet. They've got a full boss up and a full curse for another 30 seconds. This needs to be keep at a minimum.
That Warden's Cage, unfortunately, not catching anybody.
Yeah, we've got an interesting Hanzo ultimate coming out there. Washi copping the taunt, copping the throw, gets silenced. He's going to get popped. Not going to have much health left. But Silic on the Mirrodin has to run away and Dwarf Toss over into the Night Camp. This keep goes down. There's still a full 95% health boss here, Aga. This could be game coming out for Roles Unspecified straight away. As the core starts falling, shield's gone.
Yeah, and they've got their level 13 talent as well, a 4-level lead. It's nearly 30% health v damage advantage here. They've got a chance to end it. Lyrizen getting remarkably low, but the Stukov heals are real.
Wow, this is game, ladies and gentlemen. That was absolutely astronomical play coming out of Roles Unspecified there against Funky Moon. That the double boss sealed the deal, and that's what we talk about the throw pit, Aga. It's all too easy for everyone to assume that your enemy is not going to be viable or competent in understanding that you're going for a boss play. They notice you off the map for 10, 12 seconds, and they go, oh, well, clearly they're on the boss. They go in there, your Greymane's on 200 health points, everyone else is sort of scattered around the place going, no, what are we doing? Hanzo comes in, pops a couple of those gnarly old arrows off, and you go down. They take that boss, plus the curse. You couldn't...
Oh, yeah, the timing was sensational. They, you know, I hear some people in Hero League, they get the curse, and then they go, now go for boss, now go for boss, but it means wasting a bit of that curse time. However, both of those bosses were on their way before the curse even started. So it was just all three simultaneously, no waste of time. It was heavy. At first, I wasn't sure if they were going to get a keep, but seeing that boss still above 90% health as the keep was, you know, one hit away from dying, I thought, oh dear, this is going much worse than I thought.
Honestly, I was just anticipating the outer keep wall to go down, and I would have said that would have been good, maybe a little bit of damage onto that keep, but the RU guys did pretty much, you know, collapse behind that boss and then got some picks, staggered those deaths out, Aga, and it was game over for Funky Moon. So both teams putting on a very respectable showing tonight. I certainly enjoyed that game, Aga. Don't know about you. But we are going to cut to another short break. We are going to have to wait a few minutes, so potentially between 5 and 10 minutes, boys and girls, as we wait for these final other games to wrap up. Not all games can be 8 or 9 minutes on Cursed Hollow, so bear with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for sticking around. I'm Winters. This is Agabemnis from Unreal Aussies. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back, waiting for 2 more matches to finish up on Cursed Hollow right now. We will be coming back to you in the next few moments, so sit tight, enjoy the sweet non-copyright sounds of the music being distributed to your ears right meow. Meow!
Like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Apologies for the delay there. We had a half-hour game on Cursed Hollow coming out there from a couple of the teams. So, some grueling and intense battles that would have ensued. Would have been lovely to have had that one on stream for us. But, look, we are going to kick into Aga's favourite map, which is going to be Dragonshire. Aga, just while I fix up a couple of things in the lobby, take me through why Dragonshire is your favourite map, mate.
Look, for me personally, I love how you need to control all 3 lanes. You can't get objective if the enemy team has control over any single lane. So it plays differently to something like Cursed Hollow, which we just watched, where you all fight over a particular point. Even Brexis, I think, because you've got the progress bars that come up as you capture a point, there is time to sort of shift back and forth and perhaps have an objective that is relatively even if both teams come quite close in it. With Dragonshire, the moment that one team controls all 3 lanes, in about 5 seconds they're going to have a dragon and they're going to have it all to themselves. And I like how that sort of forces teams to think about splitting up a little bit more, maneuvering, outflanking each other, constant rotation, securing an objective before moving on to the next, and trying to time their kills, scatter the deaths a little bit to just to ensure dominance in the lane where they need it the most at any given time. It's how I see the map usually play out. It's how I try to play it, and I love it. Massive fan of Dragonshire. It's my favorite map by a long shot.
Nice. I think mechanics of the map are amazing. I think there's a lot of rotational value and a lot of lessons that people can gain from every different region on this map, specifically around trying to hold both of those points, fighting and contesting over taking the dragon at mid, and then also the points of contestation between the 2 siege camps. You get double sieges going in that bot lane, and a 5-man team push down there. You can take that keep out of wall quite easily. It's pretty good. It's a good map. What do you think we're going to see in the way of hero choices coming out of here, Ag?
I'm a bit of a fan of Dahaka on this map. I think that when push comes to shove, he can be quite aggressive, capturing a point, even a Falstad as well, globals, to sort of sneak a shrine that you're missing at a key moment when you can take the objective. Brightwing global's not quite the same because you can't aggressively take a point. You have to have a teammate already there. Whereas Dahaka and Falstad, it's much more doable. Also, in a pinch, if you lose a team fight and you're left sort of 1v3, you can usually delay the enemy team capturing it enough with either of those 2 players, just by sort of stealing a shrine here and then running away, and possibly stealing a second shrine after that, depending on when you use your global. So those 2 characters in particular Dahaka, I think also because he's a decent solo laner, he can really sort of be dependable in his own lane for a while. But then when, if they sort of go, we desperately need help to capture this bottom shrine, he can just jump down there nice and quick, help out after soloing on his own. And it looks like all the players are here, I believe, Winters.
That's us. We are kicking into the draft here, Aga. Thank you for your insights, mate. Some very interesting stuff there. And I think that if we don't at least see one global on one of those teams, it's going to be an interesting set of rotations. And straight into this ban phase, mate, we're seeing Medivh knocked out. Wolfpack not wanting to deal with that from Morton's Monkeys, and Monkeys likewise. And conversely, getting rid of the mistress of lockdown herself, Maev.
Yeah, Medivh, a solid ban on this map, I believe, unless, of course, you want him. Lots of nice thin walls, so the portal play can be really sort of exploited on this map. Malfurion pick straight off the bat, not a bad choice, I believe. As I said, you need to dominate the lanes, and you need to hold them. So his trait comes in quite handy here. The short distance between bottom and mid means he can be constantly delivering out heals and mana for players in both mid and bot lane.
Indeed. Agamemnus. We got Malfurion picked up first, and then straight into that Sonya. Great pick up there by Mortons. Wave clear, being able to hold that point by herself. Buttload of damage with the Ancient Spear. Whirlwind for days. Some might even say
very strong
Demacia.
solo laner. Demacia, spin to win. Yeah.
Spin to win. Sonya. And Hanzo. So he's my favourite. I'm loving Hanzo at the moment myself. I think he brings just so much pain and damage and slipperiness to it. That natural agility has gotten me out of so many tight spots, and then it's also conversely put me in a lot of tight spots. So, good hero. And almost one of those either pick or ban heroes at the moment in HGC and also our open division. ETC and Phoenix.
Yeah, back onto the Hanzo. As I said, lots of long, thin walls on this map too. So natural agility can come in quite handy. He's got good poke to interrupt a dragon capture in a pinch. And play of the game, of course, is actually a global. Remember, if he needs to quickly dash to a shrine, he can do it after he's, of course, taken that talent. The Phoenix is an interesting pick, though. Again, with his warp, lots of long, thin walls. Could be used quite well. I don't mind a bit of sort of mosh pit with the Phoenix AoE auto attack, plus his plasma cutter. You can get quite a bit of AoE damage off there. And also, if you take the slow talent as well, when people do come out of the mosh pit, they're still slowed anyway. So the Dahaka ban, wise choice if you don't want to take him on this map, in my opinion.
Smart ban there coming out from the guys on Morton's. Don't want to deal with that Dahaka, not against the Sonya, not against the split push potential. And, wow. So, Malfurion picked up in the first round. Stukov making it all the way through and subsequently being banned out there in the second phase. Aga, I'm just going to say one thing. Oh, sorry, one combination of things. And that is Mosh Pit plus Shoop Da Whoop Phoenix Planet Cracker.
Yes, good point. Not only a mosh pit, but also the route from Malfurion could leave open a couple of opportunities there for a Planet Cracker. Notice that the Genji, for the first time tonight in the casted games anyway, hasn't been banned. So there is a slight chance we might see Genji come through here.
Double Shimada Brothers is always a world of ninjacal pain, and ain't nobody got time for that, to be honest.
No, I certainly don't. I'm not a fan of Genji. But he is a strong contributor to the team's victory. Garrosh, interesting. And a Thrall. Okay, so quite fairly melee heavy at the moment, with the exception of Hanzo, of course, with the Uber range. They are pretty strong though. Of course, with the root from Thrall combined with the severe displacement from Garrosh. Sonya might take the slam, the leap, the leap ulti. But I don't think it's necessary. I think they have enough displacement CC sort of without that. She may as well just go the unending fury, devastating Sonya heals forever, damages forever, doesn't go down, and ulti never ends build. So I suspect that's coming up for Sonya.
Plus shields forever. Don't forget shields, healing, spinning to win heals, jumping, smashing, crashing, bashing, poisoning, spearing Sonya. She's rubbish, and absolutely should have been a thought point for the boys on Wolfpack to ban out. Interesting to see the Thrall Garrosh coming out. We're going to have double Orcs rocking this tent. I'd be interested to see a Rhaegar coming out, but probably not. I'd love to see some triple Orcs, purely for the fact that they'd be all orcish and teethy and gross. But Leo and Li Ming coming out, final picks for Wolfpack. So we've got our solo laner in Leoric going up against that Sonya, and it's a solid, even matchup there, Aga. But Phoenix and Li Ming to put the hurt on, with only really the ETC to be the front line between those map rotations. Going to be interesting to see how that goes.
I do like the Alex Straza pick there. I think that their team is very sort of in your face with the Garrosh Thrall Sonya. And the Alex Straza ulti is going to come in very, very handy. Even her AoE heals, just put them right on the battlefront. Don't position for retreat. Don't do anything cowardly like that. Just go nuts, go ham, and let the guys stand in the circle and deal as much damage as they can.
Going ham. That's exactly right, Aga. That's what we're going to see. I'm gonna go ahead and put my money on Morton's Monkeys for this round. I think, Mr. Aga, just purely based on the disgusting amount of damage that these guys are going to be able to put out. And I don't know whether or not Li Ming and Phoenix are going to be able to answer that damage in kind. We're going to be looking for a very tactical mosh pit, if he even takes mosh and doesn't go stage dive for that global presence with the Leo lockdown and again, potential Twilight Dream coming out for Malf.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a mix-up here. You'll remember Tanner was Chromie in Game 1, and he's on the tank role for this match. We have got, of course, Jester playing the Phoenix. I think a lot of their potential to succeed here is going to come down to the combinations we were talking about with the Planet Cracker there. So, why don't we introduce the team's Mr. Winters?
Let's go for it. So, on the side of Wolfpack, we do have that Jester on the Phoenix. Helium rocking the Malfurion, doing all those heals. Unishu on the Li Ming, which was interesting because he was playing Garrosh in the other game. Tanner on the ETC and all G on that Leo.
And on Morton's Monkeys, we have Morton himself on Thrall, Voljono on Hanzo, Kerman on Garrosh, Caladrius on Alexstrasza, and Strider on Sonya. Everyone has gone mid to start this one off. It's not going to go too hectic, though. Both teams sort of keeping on their side of the halfway mark.
Oh, it's an ARAM brawl, all right. Everyone, all random, all mid. But Leo peeling off nice and early for the side of Wolfpack to go and try and get some of that value. We get Jester on the Phoenix teleporting out nice and early after Voljono puts a truckload of damage into his face. Strips those shields right back.
Yeah, his shields were already a little bit low. Voljono saw an opportunity to sort of nail into his health a little bit there. Beg your pardon, not Voljono. Strider. But unfortunately, the Thrall route didn't go down in time, so he was able to warp out.
And funny that the Thrall has actually taken Crash Lightning stacks. Hang on a second, we got Tanner doing a dirty gravy slide in there, knocking Alexstrasza for 6. But Kermit on the Garrosh is going to disengage that nice and easily and effectively. Yeah, not much value gained there at all, but a lot of pressure being applied there from the Wolfpack early on there, Aga.
Yeah, look, neither team is being cautious, although they are being appropriately disciplined and not going too far. So, I mean, that's just a testament to the caliber of these players, and of course the shot callers. They want to put out damage, they want to cause havoc, they want to, beat their chests in front of each other's faces. But neither of them is really, they're not soaking any unnecessary tower shots. They're not at risk of getting thrown over a wall. So, it's good quality stuff here. I like it.
And that's what I'd expect to see out of the Tier 2 and Tier 3 teams in the ANZ Open Division. I'd expect to start seeing some of that metagame thinking and the high-level thinking and synergies coming out of these teams. Using some corporate buzzwords. Oh, Li Ming getting done and dusted for dinner. Ground into dirt by a bunch of dudes. Unlucky, sweetheart. You are going to bed.
Look, the Groundbreaker nearly caught Phoenix on the outer edge of the warp, but the timing was off by a millisecond and he got away. But Li Ming kept going in while Morton's Monkeys was not shy of going to the forward bush. And unfortunately, she found herself in the middle of that rave party.
Oh, absolutely. We got Morton's rocking up both shrines at the moment. ETC, the only person in that mid lane. Oh, we've got a pause coming out, boys and girls. We'll just swap back over quickly to my beautiful bearded face and Aga's beautiful unbearded face while we wait to understand what the cause of this pause was for. Uno momento, gents. It appears we've had someone leave the game, so probably a technical issue. ANZ Internet at its finest. Aga, take me through the first couple of minutes of this game. What are we looking at?
Look, I think both teams are playing with the necessary amount of discipline. And is this the unpause already happening?
It is indeed. We are back that quickly.
Nice and quick.
Alright, so we're seeing a little bit of a fracas down here in the bot lane. Unishu trying to get some value on that Li Ming and taking that shrine. Just zoning out the Hanzo and putting a little bit of pain onto the Thrall. Doesn't actually take that point though. And looks to be fighting around that little Bermuda Triangle there in the mid. But Hanzo securing that point down in the bot lane. Sonya back up in the top lane, trying to secure the top shrine. But no one from Morton's Monkeys around in the middle to try and even contest that once it does get that picked up.
They are coming for a rotation, though. It's just ETC. He doesn't go down fast enough, and he does have that escape on the knockback. It's so hard to get a good gank on ETC, even with 3 people. Helium finally capping that bottom shrine, making sure that they're safe from the objective for a little bit longer. Morton's Monkeys, of course, coming down again. It's an engagement in the trees. The route was good, but no follow-up.
Yeah, we can see Thrall just using those tactics to try and secure some of that Crash Lightning stacking up, and we're already seeing him at 7 stacks in the game at 3.5 minutes or 4 minutes now, which is really quite impressive given that this is a 3-lane map and it's not something like Braxis or any of the other 2-lane maps where you can just stack that up like crazy, or Volskaya where everyone's crowding around a point. So Morton doing some quite ruthless work on that Thrall so far. Oh, look out. Top lane. We got Strider being caught out in a pincer movement. Goes down to the Leo and the combined efforts of the Phoenix. Morton on the Thrall, looking likely to have to back off himself as well. Looks like Wolfpack are going to try and apply a lot of pressure to this top lane and really try and secure this early Dragon Knight there, Aga.
Yeah, look, as long as they've got eyes on the Thrall, Leoric should be able to deal with him. So they're going to go down, perhaps get a... Kermit was there to block the gank onto the Hanzo. So close to finishing off an issue there. Li Ming going to have to go back for health, though. Plenty of Wolfpack ready to fight, though. This bottom shrine is in favor of Wolfpack right until Caladrius gets here with the heals for backup. Voljono, ooh, yes, he does make it. Okay, Jester still only at half. Shields. His shields are gone now. He's just taking damage. It's going to be 5 seconds before he gets any of that back. He's squishy for a Hanzo arrow. No, he's keeping the appropriate distance, staying safe, not giving away any free kills. Kermit versus ETC, right on that point. Who's going to last longer? Who can put out more damage, Hanzo or Li Ming? Wow. Where's your money going here?
Kermit walking out of there with the Indomitable straight through the route from Malfurion. No kills going to be picked up on either side there, Raga. Both teams are posturing, flexing their muscles as much as they can. Interesting that Kermit's gone back in by himself, and Tanner realising that is sort of giving me a little bit of a block here and there. But 1 kill aside, both very incredibly even on experience so far. So the Shrines are both going over to the side of Morton's right now. They have the ability to channel. Is Thrall going to be able to pick this up? Or, nope, Jester's going to get him, and now ETC is going to come through. Caladrius is going to follow up on that Alexstrasza to try and assist Morton there, but not going to happen.
Jester on just a skerrick of health. I believe he went down to 45 or so. We do, of course, have the Sonya replacing the Thrall up top, which is why Thrall's going to be able to capture this dragon in middle now. Ooh, no, a nice...
Tanner with the interrupt. Not going to happen right yet. Interesting throw there from the Garrosh onto the ETC. No real value gained there, other than helping them interrupt Morton trying to claim that Dragon Shrine. Oh, here we go. The 10s are out, and instantly Thrall drops that dirty great big fisher in the ground. Oh, Alexstrasza picking up the Phoenix on the back end there. Tanner in a world of hurt right now. He goes down. That is a triple for nothing. And let's transition up to the top lane and see whether or not Sonya can take out this Leoric. And he does. So Strider getting that value. Here comes the Dragon Knight.
He had to pop his ulti to do it though, so...
Yeah, Wrath of the Berserker got a decently short cooldown, given the fact that it's a it extends its duration for how long you've got it up for, and that's increased by auto attacks. So first DK of the game there, Aga being picked up by the Thrall, Morton himself, and they're going to go straight for this first middle fort to try and start opening this map up and allow a little bit more plays. Punt, see ETC.
Yeah, I don't want you hanging around. Look, I think it's wise how he's not going to soak any more tower shots unnecessarily. Ooh, no, he is going to go.
No, he is. He's going to eat them all. But that's okay. There's only 30 seconds left on the DK, so. Mate. 30 seconds left, and a big chunk of HP available.
I'm surprised they didn't use more people to defend. Wolfpack probably could have taken that down a little bit sooner, but they saw Wolfpack go top. And Morton's Monkeys are there ready to respond. Kermit soaking plenty of tower shots. The heals from Alexstrasza are real. They have only 2 minions left to soak any more shots. It might be time to back out. Phoenix is, of course, on his way up. Jester looking to put out a little bit of damage. And the monkeys retreat just in time. Leoric goes out too far, gets tossed by the garage. He's in trouble unless he
the Planet Cracker into the mosh pit! I'm charging my laser! And it happened, ladies and gentlemen, right here. I love it. So a 1-for-1 trade so far as we go into the continuation of this skirmish. Volgiano on the Hanzo is trying to take out OG on that Leoric. He finally does fall. Volgiano only got 200 HP left. A root comes in onto that Strider. Sonya going to be trying to escape. Doesn't get away with Tanner punching her face in. Malfurion falling to the wrath of the Thrall. And ETC being chased down by Thrall and Hanzo. Gets the slide through the Garrosh and ultimately gets picked.
Another 2 seconds and Leoric would have been ready to help out, but just wasn't meant to be.
I'm so impressed that we got Planet Cracker in the mosh pit, mate. You have no idea how good that feels.
If you had got both of them, like it was just off the top player. I can't remember who it was, but I mean, secured the kill on the lower player in the mosh, but he shut it off early because he realized it wasn't hitting the top one. Very, very unfortunate. If the next one goes a little bit better, then I think the fight will be more one-sided. One talent difference here at the moment, 2 levels. Morton's probably, if they could get a pick on this Leoric, they want to engage on that, but he's going to be able to get away, surely. Yep.
No Feral Wolf tying Leo down right now, and unfortunately has to walk away or disengage. We've got the rest of the team of Wolfpack coming in to try and defend this mid section of Broken Fort. For what reason, I don't know. They're going to go for their siege camp. So we're going to have a look at an invade here. Morton's already spied that out. Garrosh is on his way in to start threatening with his dirty, great big pauldrons of, I don't know, elephant thing. Both teams going to try and pick those up. No invade coming through for Morton's monkeys onto Wolfpack. A little bit sad. I would have liked to have seen another team fight there, but you know, some heroics on cooldown. All heroics available now by the looks of it. Looks like Blizzard may have fixed that UI interaction, which is nice. So we do get to see those cooldowns. Well. Well, look out. Here comes the VoIP laser. Not getting anybody except for Morton, who gets thrown out there very cleanly. Wow, that was a lot of heroics burned on the side of Morton's monkeys and also Wolfpack.
Look, Caladrius was all over it with the heals. He kept Morton alive for so long there, and now they're here with the comebacks. They're going to chase these guys down. They've got time to kill Lee.
Wow.
Do so. This is going to be another objective. This is potentially going to be a keep.
That Twilight Dream was just on point just then, and you know, you secured 3 or 4 members of it, but unfortunately everyone was just auto-attacking everybody else. So Phoenix goes down, followed by the ETC. Li Ming then gets popped. Malfurion himself was one of the first ones to go, mispositioning himself to try and achieve that Twilight Dream.
Yeah, look, he did go ham. I think it offensively worked, but like you said, he did sort of find himself a little bit too far out, and that's what let him go down. Once the Malfurion was down, no more Moonfires to get, you know, the healing up on his team, so they all started dropping within the next 10 seconds. This keep is definitely in danger here. Strider pops his ulti. Unishu looking mighty low there. Malfurion desperately trying to keep her alive.
Oh, the Phoenix toss into the taunt, into the Hanzo arrow. Boom, Sonya blows him up. Good night, sweet prince. Li Ming goes down, princess of the orb. She's no longer wizard casting spells on anybody. We get the punt onto OG. Back out, disengage. We have got Morton's monkeys going for core right now with a 45% health Dragon Knight. 15 seconds to go. We've got Sonya pummeling it down. Wrath of the Berserker active. Kermit doing with a little piddling melee damage that he can do on the core. That is game number 3 going over to Morton's monkeys, ladies and gentlemen. Aga,
that was an
game.
Excellent finisher. I can imagine the shot caller on monkeys just screaming, "Oh, 1 kill! Oh, 2 kills! Go core! Go core!" And I'll be honest with you, a lot of the time I do play a little bit cautiously during the finisher, but that was precisely the right time to follow through. They did have 20 seconds. There were siege minions as well. They didn't need them. They let the siege minions just fire at the minions. They could have killed them with a dragon fire, so that the boulders were hitting the core as well. But it wasn't going to be necessary. They knew that the dragon had enough health, had enough time to like at least get the core really low, and the other players would be able to supply the remainder damage. and it worked out for them. It was excellent game knowledge there.
Mate, they made the call, and having 15 seconds remaining on that DK with 45% health, getting the picks that they did at the time that they did, they knew that they could then finish. Morton's Monkeys are looking very challenging for one of those top spots into the Crucible and potentially moving into the Premier Division. So, looking forward to seeing more from those guys. Now, Aga, we're going to kick to a short break and just await these final games to finish up. And we'll be back hopefully within 5 minutes, ladies and gents. Stick around for the final game of Week 8 in the ANZ Open Division. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just waiting for a 25-minute game to come to its conclusion between a couple of teams. So if you just stick around for a few more minutes, we'll be back with the final round of the evening and the results at the end of that. So stay tuned. We will BRB.
Like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Apologies for the lengthy delay there. That was nigh on another half-hour game coming down on that evil D-Shire map. Now, we are going to transition into the final game here. Aga, we're coming up on Infernal Shrines, mate. The little guardian dudes. Some map control, some shrine control, some team fighting. This map brings everything to the table. What do you reckon we're going to see here?
Yeah, it's definitely a popular one. A bit of AoE damage, maybe Gul'dan, even Jaina. Don't see a whole lot of Jaina these days, but I think she's viable on this map. I think Stukov is probably going to get picked as one of the healers. Let's be honest, the other one's probably going to be Malfurion as well. I do believe Ultimo does play a lot of Malfurion, so he might go for that over the Stukov. I don't think we're going to see an Abatha from Funky Moon this time. So, but you never know.
Probably not. No,
Yeah,
probably
look,
not. I think you're right. I think we're probably going to be looking at some very similar drafting. Although, look, I love the guys from Funky Moon and the girls, and I'm kind of hoping that they might bring out their Cho'Gall on this map. What do you reckon?
how did that go last time?
Well, we all know the ANZ week. Was it 2? Week 3. Interestingness of the Cho'Gall naming convention. But look, the fact remains that these guys know how to play Cho'Gall and they know how to build a team around him, especially on a short 3-lane rotation map like this. So chances are we could see something very cheeky coming out like that. I would just love to see maybe a Medivh getting picked up instead of banned.
Do you think he might get banned again? I mean, it's quite possible.
Well, of course it is, and the chances are that he does get banned is quite high. Like we've seen him banned in pretty much every match so far tonight, and it's just the versatility that he offers there, Aga. the portals, the shields, the ridiculous bloody leyline seal. I mean, he's again, he is a complete package, and he's very, very good. So it's not a surprise to see him banned. But I just want to see him get through the draft and maybe get picked up.
Look, he might. I dare say if he's not banned, he will get picked. And I did just hear Slick Sloth. This is his last game for the year. He's going to be retiring after this one. So good luck to Mr. Slick.
Good luck, Slick. Absolutely.
Go out with a bang, mate.
Going out with a big old bang. Now, looks like he's... well, we've almost got our lobby ready to go. My goodness gracious me, I need another beer. I want to see out of these teams tonight on Infernal Shrines, I want to see some really, really good, fast, efficient wave clear. I'm talking Johannes, maybe even a Gul'dan, obviously the Hanzo. What else do you think we can bring to the table in terms of solid wave clear for either of these teams?
I think the first two you mentioned, Jojo Gul'dan, in combo is exceptional on this map. The two together work very well for the objective and work very well for fighting around the objective. Gul'dan, obviously a strong laner on his own, able to clear the minions nice and quick, enabling a swifty 4-man rotation. So I think, you might be onto something there. If a team picks one of them, I dare say they're going to pick the other.
Yeah, I agree. And then I would naturally expect to see some Genji or Hanzo. The Shimadas don't make an appearance. Double negative. The Shimadas always make an appearance. So I just ruined that. You know what I mean. It's rare to see a game go by whether or not they're not picked or banned. So their versatility once again comes into play. The cross-map play with that arrow from Hanzo, the cyber agility, the natural agility, the ridiculous damage that they both put out on the backliners. Look, ladies and gents, we are getting into the final game now. Thank you for your patience. We're bringing you Capital versus Funky Moon on Infernal Shrines as we bring our Week 8 to a close. Thank you for sticking around. My good mate Agamemnus from Unreal Aussies has been an absolute dream to be working with tonight. And me, your bearded monstrosity Winters, pleasure talking to you all. Let's get this ban phase underway, Aga. Please don't be a Medivh.
You really want to see the Medivh pick, don't you? Look, you talk about it being a dream to cast with me. I fulfilled my dreams 2 Saturdays ago when I got to touch your beard, my friend. It was the experience of a lifetime. Interesting to note. Ardra in chat is cheering for both Capital and Funky Moon. She is friends with Stumpy, of course, but also very, very close friends with Mr. Aureus on Team Capital. So there's a little bit of a torn heart thing happening there. And the Stukov ban. Okay, yep. I do think Ultimo wants to grab that Malfurion. I believe it might be their first pick.
Yeah, so the responsible answer from Funky Moon here, like not drinking and driving, is to ban that Malfurion out.
Yep.
And then to go back down to that A tier of staple healers like your Rhaegars or Uthers. Yeah. I feel like even Lucio has fallen out of favour recently. I don't know what it was, whether there was a shift in something in a couple of patch notes ago, but his sustainability and his viability as a healer, especially predominantly in the ANZ Premier Division region. I haven't seen any Lucio at all recently. So I'd be interested to see whether or not he gets picked up in Open Div. I know there's been a couple of games in Korea and China recently where Lucio has still been picked up. So still showing viability in that meta, but just not in ours. And no one wants to deal with that Garrosh.
Look, I think Lucio still performs his function in a team that's oriented for it. The speed boost is his main boon, in my opinion. I do think with the prevalence of high mobility heroes recently, and there's the Melf pick, of course. Yeah, I do think that with the prevalence of mobility heroes recently, I think that the benefit from Lucio is sort of deteriorated a little bit with so much more mobility. But get excited for Deckard Cain, man. On the subject of healers, are you looking forward to that one?
Oh, Aga, I spent about 2 hours playing quick matches with some of the boys from Downfall this morning. And I tell ya, don't let Konya get anywhere near Deckard Cain. That boy is a weapon. And moving away from Shrek being the average healer, well, not average healer that he is, sorry, the healer that he normally plays, he was playing on Zul'jin. And Zul'jin and Deckard Cain were an unstoppable duo, let me tell you. So, mate, I'm very much looking forward to Deckard Cain. He brings a lot of that versatility. There's the Cho'Gall! Yes!
Yep, they're going with it.
Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you, Funky Moon. I love you a million times over. I love Cho'Gall. Yep. Deckard Cain, absolute weapon of a hero. Really difficult to kill at level 20, if I may say so myself. If I may say so. If I may say so, Aga. Difficult to kill, but really, really fun to play with and play against.
Yeah, look, I can't wait. I'm definitely going to try him out as soon as I can find some time to have some fun. Look, what do you think Capital are going to do here? They are, a fan, call it an innovator of the triple tank meta. So I don't suspect that's going to work particularly well against Cho'Gall. There are some tanks who can hack him down a little bit. Of course, Artanis with the triple strike. Okay, yep. They're going for the Cho'Gall counter. Some of the alternatives might be to counter the healers that they would put with him, but they don't know which healer that is yet. So they've gone the Cocoon, of course, which is going to remove 2 people from play, and the percentage health damage from Tychus. Artanis is still viable with the triple blade strike, as well as the percentage damage from his level 16 talent, I believe it is. That can chunk down a solid 15% within 2 seconds.
Sure can. Rubbish talent that it is. Artanis, heavily in the meta a year ago. We don't need a return of the Artanis meta. Thank you very much, Aga. Interesting ban coming out there from Funky. Don't want to deal with the Malthael. So
no, more percentage health there.
Yeah, exactly. But look, if Funky Moon are smart about this, they'll take a percentage life healer, i.e. Alexstrasza. So I think there's that. Or Lucio, once he gets to 16 with that Rejuveneciado, he can heal percent life back. So interesting. Interesting team comps right here, Aga. I'm looking forward to this game, mate.
I really want to see this healer. I'm interested because Lucio does give that percentage heal later in the game, but part of a Cho'Gall strategy is to try and not get far behind. You need to not need to depend on that late game that late game boon. So I'm not sure if it's the smartest decision. The ban comes out, they banned Li Ming. I'm not sure why they didn't go for a healer ban. Oh, okay, it's for the Cocoon, of course, for the Inubarak Cocoon.
Yeah, look, Cocoon's going to be such a powerful attribute, heroic, coming into this game for Capital. I don't want to see them go down the path of the triple tank meta, but going into a Cho'Gall where you got 2 players smushed into the one body, Cocoon is just going to be invaluable to them. They can either Cocoon the Cho'Gall. Is that even a thing? Can you Cocoon Cho'Gall? I don't know. I haven't seen it, actually. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, Inubarak. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And it's super effective, too. A lot of teams will take Inubarak plus a dive comp. Oh, there's the Rhaegar. You were asking for the Rhaegar, weren't you?
Well, it makes sense, right? You get the Ancestral. It's a big chunk of healing straight back into Cho'Gall's face. It was either Rhaegar or Alexstrasza. And interesting pickup in the Tracer. So looking to annoy that Malfurion, no doubt, or get in and up inside Tychus's grill / helmet. It's about time.
Well, it works on the Cocoon as well, doesn't it?
It does.
They did ban the Li Ming, so Tracer rounds on the Cocoon from Inubarak. It's interesting. Capital does still have 2 more picks. They can focus this. See, one thing they can do. They don't have a brawler yet. They might go a Varian. I think Aureus is the fan of the Sonya, though. But with a Varian, if you Cocoon Cho'Gall but taunt Tracer at the same time, you're guaranteed a kill in a 5v3. And you've got a solid 5 seconds until the Cocoon comes up. So you might even be able to get... There's the Varian. Okay. So I think this is the right way to go.
And the Sonya. So taunt and lockdown and damage.
Yep.
And percent health damage and web wrap and roots and silence. It's looking dangerous coming out from Capital here, Aga.
It could be if they play it well. If the taunt goes off on Tracer at the same time as the cocoon on Cho'Gall, then that's a dead Tracer, and they've got 5 seconds of a 5v2. So if they can grab another kill on the Rhaegar, preferably, or at least get him to use his ancestral healing before the Cho'Gall comes out of the cocoon, then that puts Funky Moon at the disadvantage. But it's going to have to be timed so well. I mean, this is going to be down to the nail. Ultimo, of course, an excellent shot caller. A lot of respect for the man. So it's doable. This could be done.
Yep. And it's all going to come down to this last pick for Funky Moon and what they're looking like. So Arthas going into that melee blocking, slowing, don't come near me or you're going to be in trouble type build. Trying to deflect the Sonya and the Varian. So maybe they were thinking Varian Smash, trying to dissuade away from that build. So good mind games there coming out of Funky Moon. Look, Aga, I'm going to have to put my fan pick into Capital because I love the guys from Capital, but I solidly respect and I love the fact that Funky Moon went to Cho'Gall.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's an entertaining last match for the phase, isn't it? Well, at least for the open division phase. We have seen it from them before. I do love Botsilic and Stump God. I do love Beefy and Aureus. I'm definitively torn between these teams. So I'm ready for some good, solid entertainment regardless of outcome.
What's the Cho'Gall game name going to be this week?
Oh my god. It's going to have my name, isn't it? Isn't it? Nearly.
FK Mames. Alright. Very interesting. Alright, boys and girls. We have got Funky Moon coming out on the red side. Fighting out of the red corner. We've got the Cho'Gall being represented by those two miscreants there, Electro. And we've got Sukra on the Rhaegar, Washi on the Arthas, and Stumpy rocking the Tracer. Aga?
Look, we've got Tyran on the Anubarak, Ultimo the shot caller healer on Malfurion, Aureus the solo laner on Sonya, Beefy on Tychus, and Slicksloth on the Varian. This is going to be a good one.
It is, absolutely. We see the little vision radius there coming out from Cho'Gall into that bottom lane, which is interesting. Not bottom lane, sorry, just into the bottom brush. He's going to cause a lot of havoc, but he's also going to eat a lot of damage straight out of the gate from Beefy, repping into that minigun. But, yeah, this is really, really, really interesting, and I can't wait until we see some late game. Cheeky little initiate there from Tyran with a burrow charge, trying to disrupt the Funky Moon boys on the Cho'Gall, but to no avail.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of CC without the Arthas, so he can afford to, dive in a little bit deep with that instead of saving it for an escape. The damage on Beefy is real, though. Cho'Gall focusing the target that he needs to get down. Stump God comes in with a little bit of backup. It's just enough. Oh, and Funky Mames nearly goes down as well, but the heals are real.
That pulse bomb took Tyran down there to 80 HP. So if he had have even breathed on the Anubarak there, Tracy would have taken him out. So well played there, Stumpy. And well played there by Funky Moon's Cho'Gall in terms of body blocking into that Tychus. Didn't allow him to get away. So solid bodying.
Yep, excellent. Botsilic, very, very map aware. And the timing of getting away from the tower as well, perfect. He wasn't going to get, nailed by a grenade or a moonfire or anything. He still had enough health to stay safe, but he stayed in there as long as he needed to secure the kill. Beautiful positioning from Botsilic.
Interesting in terms of rotations coming out here at the moment, Aga. No invade coming in from the side of Funky Moon into Capital's Khazra camp, which I would have thought we'd see. They do obviously transition down to take the bottom Khazra camp, but yeah, just interesting that we don't see that initiation there.
I think they had their hearts set on the bottom siege, and without the Rhaegar, the Cho'Gall wasn't quite 100% confident on it.
Oh, what's this? Colossus smash on the Varian. Not the taunt.
Prepare yourselves for the slaughter.
trying to go for the insta kill as opposed to the secure kill on the Tracer. Aureus should be safe to get away from there. I don't think he can be blocked out.
No, he walks away with no real dramas. Obviously putting a buttload of damage onto him, but no avail. Not going to get the lockdown, not this early, and they haven't got the damage to put out. But Aureus is going to go into start taking this Shaman camp, and the Shrine is up. So as we see Arthur's transition down to the mid lane, we're probably going to see that gain a little bit of value if Capital can pick up any kills here.
Oh, they need their 5. Capital needs all 5. They're outnumbered at the moment. Darren goes in with a charge, nearly gets Stumpy, but she manages to blink away just in time.
Stumpy just hanging out on the back line there, trying to take out some minions at the moment. Aga with Ultimo popping out the heals. Washi gets engaged upon. We see Stump God copping all the damage from Aureus there. Pulse Bomb goes out, ineffective. Washi goes down. Nonite there, Prince of Ice. Aureus taking him out. We nearly have Cho'Gall falling too beefy on that Tychus. Capital are going to turn this Shrine around. It looks like they're going to get the first Punisher of the game.
Yeah, and that was well played. Beefy nearly had the range to knock Cho'Gall back to him. It was just barely out of it, unfortunately. Otherwise, he would have got the double kill. This is going to help them a lot because I think a lot of Capital's power comes after level 10. So it's going to be great if they can get they're going to get the level 7 talent before Funky Moon. So it's going to give them that little bit of an edge. If they get their ultis first, I think it really could swing in their favour.
Oh, if this Punisher doesn't stop getting value, like no one's dragged it over the fence, and finally we see that, taking that fort damage, but before that, Sidewall goes down. Cho'Gall locked down, Root coming in, absolutely there. Beefy copping all the damage, Pulse Bomb coming out from the Tracer. Stumpy just going to walk away from that, popping out the damage and really helping to disengage this fight. Still continuing though. Stumpy really wanted to eat that Tychus, and wow, we're going to kill in the top lane there.
I didn't see that coming.
Did not see that coming, not with a Sonya against an Arthas, so well played Washi. But wow, that was some classy Tracer play coming out of Stump God right there, Aga.
Ooh, the invade. They can still see Arthas at the top. They know they're not outnumbered. The kill goes down on Rhaegar. No heals left for Stumpy. Yeah, she's got the speed to get away. Yes, just.
Beefy certainly being the target and focus of Stump God's attention. I'm wondering whether or not there's a coffee date coming up for those two. But look, Tracer putting in some moves against that Tychus for sure, and look, Stumpy really doing her job in terms of focusing where she needs to focus. So, well played there, Tracer. Gets away, gets a lot of damage in and gets out. And that's what you need from your Tracer player. So, well done. But Cho'Gall having to disengage himself there, coming down to almost a quarter health. As we've got Slicksloth diving in. Tyran coming. Oh, the charge into the charge away.
Yeah, good timing on the shove.
Wow.
Look, up top lane now, Sonya back with a vengeance. Arthas is getting a little bit low on mana. Once he starts running out, Sonya should be able to crush him. Looks like he's thinking of coming down, though, to maybe join in on this team fight.
Here comes the
he's returning. So this is 4v3. Always remember, Cho'Gall counts for 2. It's now 4v4. It's a fair fight. Anubarak tries for the initiate, just misses the burrow charge. Aureus has come onto the stump, but can't quite catch her. They secure the Merc camp, and they're just going to leave there.
Yeah, that Rhaegar was in a lot of trouble there. Sukra having to tail between the legs, tuck tail, duck and roll, and run the hell away. Poor little wolf form Rhaegar almost got taken out there. And if Cho'Gall hadn't walked in the way of that ancient spear coming out of the Sonya, that would have been all over little blue rover.
Yeah, and once the healer goes down for this particular team comp, they all fall very, very quickly. There's not a whole lot of self-sustain. I mean, Cho'Gall does have it, but the percentage damage from Tychus is really, really going to make it seem like it's just not doing anything. Another engage? No, Funky Moon backs away.
No, Tychus is just going to tear through that Cho'Gall health like a hot knife through butter. Meow. And, once he gets into that Odin, We're going to see that coming from a distance as well. Oh, the engage onto the Cho'Gall. Gets away. Here comes a Shadow Bolt volley, though. But we've got Aureus and the Anubarak sitting there soaking that up. Tracer whiffs that Pulse Bomb. The Draken Drill coming out, getting no value. So a lot of ultis blown there for no real value.
Yeah, 2 down on each team. I mean, not counting the Varian, of course. Such a quick cooldown. So, look, I really think they put so much damage onto the Cho'Gall. They could have switched to the Tracer a little bit earlier. Maybe got a pick off, but starting to talk a bit hypothetically here. Ultimo finally going to tap that shrine. They do have the Merc camp there. It's only going to hold up for another couple of seconds, and then Funky Moon's definitely going to go for the engage.
Yeah, we got 10 Shrine Guardians already, of 15 now over to the side of Capital. We got the engage coming in from Stump God again. Twilight Dream comes out. Tracer goes down in a blaze of lasery glory. Cho'Gall looking, gets web wrapped. We're going to see the engage coming into the Arthas here. Washi having to run away for his little Prince of Ice and Fire death. Cho'Gall getting absolutely bodied here by the entire team. Gets completely demolished. Minigun tearing into shreds. Little dudes are all going to be picked up here by Capital. This is going to be yet another Punisher going over to the side of the Cap.
Yep, and once they clear this minion wave, clear that fort out of the way, which is pretty defenseless, not much point defending that one, they could be on the verge of their level 13 talent. So if they engage after that talent advantage, they're probably going to win another team fight. Funky Moon should be aware of this and mindful. I think that that Twilight Dream from Malfurion was very, very key. Varian put out so much damage onto the Tracer, but then the silence prevented her escape. And once she went down, there was no one to hit the back line. Oh, the engage comes out here on the Cho'Gall. Now the Ancestral is good.
Wow. What a save. But the web wrap comes out again, and Uber must have just had that back off cooldown, mate. Is Cho'Gall going to be able to get out of this? I don't know. He's getting bodied. He gets the unstoppable. He gets through. Punisher is on the other side of the wall now, though, spraying out his mortary goodness. Shadowbolt volley comes out. Not really getting a huge amount of value outside of some damage onto the Punisher. Draken Laser Drill absolutely peppering the Cho'Gall. Gets stunned. Tyrant goes in with that Burrow Charge. We miss everything. Going to have the disengage coming out of Capital here, but Stumpy doesn't want to let that go without a fight. Nubarak, 80 HP, gets away. Goes down.
Okay, this is going to be a hard escape. The Tracer is obviously faster than everyone on the team, but the division, the split from Varian, is a suicide for the benefit of his other two teammates. Well done there. It's look, there still is a talent advantage, but Funky Moon's going to get their 13 any second now. Is this going to be a camp steal? It is. I don't think Capital will engage on that. Oh, by the way, that healing totem from Rhaegar, it is percentage health healing. So it might be a wise idea for Capital to try and focus that down nice and quick if they think it's going to give too much to the Cho'Gall.
You're right. It's 2% health every second. And that's a lot of health back for a Cho'Gall. A lot of health. Yeah. So, percent life healing coming out in the passive form of that totem, but also the Ancestral. You saw he got really, really low with that Ancestral just before, and that popped him straight back up to almost 3/4 health. Shadowbolt volley going out and hitting absolutely no one. Web wrap coming out again. Stump Gob caught in a world of pain, manages to get away with that recall. Washi going down. Ancestral too late, unfortunately. Twilight Dream got interrupted there by the push forward from the Cho'Gall. Cho'Gall now rooted, copping a boatload of damage. Ancestral will be off cooldown now, off that half cooldown anyway for the Rhaegar, so no real concerns there. As Funky Moon look like they're going to have to pull out of this one.
Yeah, he's lucky that Rhaegar had the cleanse available too. I'm pretty sure that saved Cho'Gall's life. But that is going to be another fort. It's going to give some definitive map control to Team Capital. They will try and keep these Merc camps all nice and blue. Well, it's blue for us. It's red for Funky Moon. But yeah, this fort's going to drop 2 by the looks of it. Funky Moon is all up. They could engage if they wanted to. There's no Punisher.
No Punisher up at this stage, but they don't have the... Oh, no, they do. They're even talented right now. Web wrap on that Tracer. Going to try and get some value into the Cho'Gall, but going to get that Shadowbolt volley creaming Aureus on the Sonya. Really, really huge amounts of damage coming out of there. Not to mention the little shadow blasts coming out of the Gaul every now and then. So Funky Moon push them away from that mid tower, keeping their mid game viable. Cho'Gaul, where are you going? You're going to run down bot and clear this lane. We've got both teams spreading to go take their shaman camps.
Yeah, I suspect Funky Moon don't want to be down a level 16 talent at the next objective. With the Cho'Gaul hitting the Sonya there, I believe it looked to me like he was actually going for the Tychus, but that Aureus dived in front and body soaked that ulti as well as the Shadow Blasts. So if that was indeed the intention, it was spectacular. Nice head start here for Funky Moon on that objective. He's got the eyeball up, making sure they keep the vision out there. The Draken Laser Drill goes down. Sonya's popped her ulti. The Cocoon is on Cho'Gaul, but he's out. Oh, Arthas goes down instead.
That Ancestral went on the wrong target there. Got the Ancestral onto the Cho'Gaul instead of onto Washi on that Arthas. So a little bit of a misclick there potentially by the Rhaegar. We've got a 0-for-1 trade so far. Stump God looks like she's the target of the Varian, but Slicksloth manages just to run away as Stump God blinks out of there. We get the Burrow Charge into the Cho'Gaul with a knock up there coming out. Lots of damage coming out. Aureus not able to finish him off. Stump God trying to put the heat onto Tyran on the Anubarak. Beefy just trying to sit in that back line and recover a little bit of health now. Cho'Gaul ever so low. Stump God ever so low. This is the turn coming over from Capital. Funky Moon lose the Arcane Punisher. And Capital are going to have to run this one down the bot lane.
Yep, this keep is in a little bit of danger here. They will have everybody ready to defend it. Both camps pushing up top. Should be a little bit of a stalemate. Not going to be too devastating either way there. So there's plenty of time for this fight to happen. Is Cho'Gaul going to draw the Punisher this time? I think last time he got quite a few hits off before he jumped over.
He's dropped the Shadow Bolt volley. And Capital have most of their ultimates available except for that Odin, which is up in 15 seconds. Arcane Punisher putting out the dirty skipping beams of pain. Lots of value being had here as the entire outer keep wall gets crumbled. We got Slicksloth diving in with his gigantic smash. Cho'Gaul now web wrapped. Tracer gets him out of that quick smart. Cool. Lots of damage coming out there onto the Ultimo. Lots of laser beams of death coming out for Arthas. He's going to get cleaned up. Absolutely. Beefy is trying to get the Cho'Gaul. Ancestral comes out from the Rhaegar, keeping him up alive. Pulse Bomb goes out from the Tracer onto the Tychus. Not going to help. It's going to be a Capital disengage. Unless Cho'Gaul and Tracer can try and get some value here.
Ooh, I thought for a second Beefy might have been in danger, but his team is guaranteeing his escape. No ancestral love for the poor Arthas. He's copped a couple of occasions now where it might have saved his life, but Rhaegar accidentally once hitting the Cho'Gaul, and that time saving it for the Cho'Gaul. They've got a lot of time to recover here, though. Oh. Stumpy goes in with a massive nail onto Anubarak's coffin. But is she going to get picked off in return? Yes, the Arthas has caught her. The cleanse comes out. The cleanse is real.
This is a good one. Real. Tracer ends up getting picked off there by the Tychus, though, with a long-range grenade. Quarterback, go long, Hail Mary. Picks up the Tracer. Tychus is still just putting out absolute, veritable cornucopia of damage onto this Cho'Gaul, which is keeping Sukara on the Rhaegar on his toes. Unfortunate for Tyran there. Capital Anubarak getting picked off. Wonderful Tracer play once again coming out there from Stumpy. Aga, what a solid and close little game we got going on so far.
Yeah, look, Capital definitely had the early advantage, but Funky Moon is pushing back hard right now. There are 2 forts down. It is the bottom keep loss, though, is going to put a little bit of pressure on them for the remainder of the game. But they are definitely not in a bad position here. This power spike from Cho'Gaul at level 20 is hectic, and Capital needs to be aware of this. The Draken Laser Jewel goes down.
Oh, here comes that Shadow Bolt volley all the way into Tychus' face. We got Syndragosa coming down, putting some slows and damage down onto Capital. Aureus trying to spin to win his way out of there. Anubarak, Burrow Charge out just in the nick of time. All of that, 1 kill traded for nothing on the side of Funky Moon, and they pick up the camp. And I don't know whether or not that was really worth it for Capital. Oh,
no,
wow. The double. This is going to be keep here, Aga.
Yeah, it very well could be. Another 30 seconds before there's any real defense available for Team Capital. Funky Moon will probably stick around. There's a minion wave right there.
I would have imagined the Cho'Gath would have tanked that, but no. So, obviously Rhaegar was super low mana, so couldn't keep him up and sustain through that.
Okay, yeah.
They will try and take this mid fort, though.
We're getting all of our predictions wrong here, aren't we?
Yep, we're going down the path of not knowing what we're talking about. It's okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Another invade.
We do make mistakes.
Yep, Aureus wisely backing out of that immediately, knowing his teammate isn't close enough to help. It's not bad to give away some of these camps at this stage of the game, because if you want to take them out, you can do it quite quickly in the safety of the proximity of your towers. So, unfortunately, the objective is up. Capital can't delay forever. Stump God goes hard onto Beefy, gets him down to half health. Cho'Gath, sorry, go.
Yeah, I was going to say, not going to be very effective there with that Pulse Bomb, but really, at this stage of the game, it does not take a Tracer long to stack that back up. So we can already see that Pulse Bomb sitting back at 80% already after just being used. And picking into that, obviously, you know, the extra health percent damage, she's going to be able to wreck pretty much any of these assassins one-on-one in very short order, very quickly.
Okay, so they are going to finish it off. I thought for a second they might delay it a little bit longer, but they do have the Merc camps moving. So it's time to try and break through the wall of the keep, possibly get the keep as well. It is a 19-minute Punisher. It is quite powerful.
Fortunately, it's not an arcane Punisher, so the mortar doesn't do that much damage from a range. It's the combination of the stun followed up by a mortar barrage, followed up by a truckload of, well, there you go, Syndragosa damage. Varian falls to the Cho'Gath very quickly. Twilight Dream comes out on the Tracer, but not going to be effective as Malfurion also dies. Beefy on that Tychus goes down to a flame of shadowy glory. We got Aureus getting bodied there by the entire team. Tyran on the Anubarak is going to call game for Capital as Funky Moon get an entire wipe there, Aga.
Yeah, that was a solid chase. The Syndragosa did have the fort not firing, so they were free to go quite deep. I saw them standing around the core for a minute there while it was invulnerable, but enough of Capital were down by then. Stumpy, of course, just shooting that Malfurion after she got silenced. They really needed the Variant with them at that point so that he could smash onto her and try and burst her down very, very suddenly without the escape due to the silence. But without the Malfurion there, that was going to be very, very hard. And of course, the Cho'Gath is just constantly chasing the Tychus. He's trying to stay safe and get off damage at the same time. So Stump God did the right thing, in my opinion, and secured the kill on the Malfurion. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, also the Shot Caller. So it's an extra special to kill. Always want to hit the healer first, but the added bonus of it also being the Shot Caller. So yeah, of course, once they had those two down, they just went ham. Didn't matter that the core was still invulnerable. The keep was still up, of course. So they just happily soaked the damage to try and secure an additional kill or two. Totally eliminate the possibility of defense from Capital, and it worked. It worked. Nice decision to finish the game there.
It worked, an absolute treat, and Funky Moon pulled that win out of losing 75% of that match all the way up until around level 16, and that power spike that they got coming into level 20 was just unstoppable. The combinations of the runic blast explosion, silencing the Tracer, like Stumpy was just absolutely godlike during most of that game in her interactions, trying to dive onto that Tychus, making Beefy her target number one and priority, just trying to kill. So really, really well played there by the entire team of Funky Moon. It's a great game to watch. I was thoroughly impressed by that. Just as I've been thoroughly impressed by your co-casting tonight, Aga. I must say thank you very much for coming along. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't already follow the Unreal Aussies crowd, make sure you do. They're a good bunch, and they also know how to drink their beer, so that's points in my book.
You are a kind man, Mr. Winters.
No, been a pleasure, mate. We are going to call it stumps right about there, ladies and gents. Thank you for joining us for Week 8 of the ANZ Open Division. We will be coming back to you in a few weeks' time with our relegation / Crucible / Open Div into Premier Div, out of Premier Div into Open Div teams. stick around, stay tuned, check out the Twitter. We'll keep you guys posted. Have a great night, ladies and gents.
Can't wait. Good night, everybody.
We'll see you in a few weeks.